Hey everybody, it's Michelle from the Stamp Doctor. I'm here to help you assemble the coffee make and take kit for August 15th of 2020. And this is just some information on how you can find me, who I am, how you can call or text me. And then I will let you know right off what the coupon code is. It is OOAK. It's good for 20% off anything not already on sale, and it expires August 31st. Well, technically September 1st. As soon as it becomes midnight, it will expire. So, to begin, we are assembling, better start my timer. All right, we are assembling the tag topper card first. All right, and this has a sneaky little Velcro for the bow here. All right, and this is utilizing the trifold shutter card layers, and the A2 layers kind of makes your dies go a little bit farther. So this is a 6 1/4 by 5 1/2 scored 2 inches from the left card. And this is release paper. I have tape and everything on the back of all of my pieces to make this go quicker. All right, so you're going to have in your kit 2 tag topper pieces, and these are, one is folded or scored for you to fold and one is not. So I'm going to do the not one, and what we're going to do is we are going to place it on our card. Now you can use anything as a straight line, and I'm telling you this is what I do. We can put this wherever we want it. We just need a straight line. I'm literally going to just use my plate here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to line up my piece, and it's kind of hard to see the brown on brown, but I'll pick it up just here in a second and show you where I did it. So we have piece number 1 here. Okay. And normally I would use glue, but for this, because I'm putting it through a folder, I would use tape. So here I have folded this one and I have tape on the bottom edge. And so I want to bump that up against there. And I'm not going to stick this down. I'm just using this guide for how far they both are. So we're just going to put it there. And what I mean is I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to just make sure I have that fold right there on the edge of the card. Okay. And then they're lined up. Okay. And this one, whoops, we'll twist it just a little to make sure it's straight. So this is just, you want any kind of a straight edge that enables you to line up the top or the bottom of these 2 pieces to make sure that you have them at the same level. And I'm telling you, you can be as lazy as just grabbing anything that you can square up with the edge and square across like that. Okay, it would be easier if you had a ruler. All right, but mine got left in the other room. So just when you think you're prepared, you're not. But looky there, we can cheat. Now, the reason I wouldn't use tape on this is because in the heat it pops loose, but because I'm about to do something different with it, that's what makes it. So this would be really cool as a card die, right? To have it all just one piece, but then you'd have to have dies for each different tag topper. So what we're going to do to make this kind of fun and make these edges blend in, we're going to put the whole thing in an embossing folder. So now this embossing folder is a little bit small for what I would prefer to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to center my card within it here. Okay. And what this is going to do is squash the tape into the other piece of paper, so it's a little more durable that way. All right, and I use my magnetic base plate and a piece of chipboard, and then 1 clear plate, and that is my embossing folder stack. I'm gonna set this out of the way now. Thought I'd get that big thing out of the way before we continued. All right, so now what we've done is we've ran the whole card through, and like I said, this is a smaller folder. I did not get it centered as well as I'd like, but the 3 sides have a space. What it does is it just squashes everything together, and you end up having that texture blend your pieces for your tag, so it almost looks like it's one piece. Okay, so then I already have adhesive on my layer. This is an A2 layer, and I listed on the website all of the dies that I used to cut all the pieces and the sizes. And I will be publishing a layout. Now I wanted to show off the embossing on this side, so I didn't put a piece on the inside. I just put the piece on the outside here. Okay, and once I stick that down, I like my steamroller here. And this is a really, really easy card to assemble and to create. And it's just a lot of fun, I think, to use the tag toppers and to make your pieces from your trifold shutter go farther. So I'll save this. This is leftover from mailing labels, and I just use it as a release paper. Okay, so in my little basket here, I have my extra components. I guess I should move over a little bit. All right, so we have here the little cup, and I've put foam tape on it. And you're going to have a half of a Velcro dot, and you realistically only need a quarter of that. So I'm going to just chop that. And this is the slim, thin Velcro. All right, so now I did go ahead and cut my ribbon, and I'll show you what I did. We're going to go in this tag hole here. And what I did is I just went around the card. And did I cut this wrong? Let's see, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Who knows? Who can say? I try to prepare everything for video, and it sometimes works well and sometimes doesn't. Okay, so, all right. It's actually a little short, so don't do that, okay? This is like how not to make a card mistake. Oh wait, you know what? I could have the wrong piece. Haha. Nope, don't have the wrong piece. All right, well, regardless, what you're gonna do is you're going to stick this in here. I was jabbering when I was pre-doing my pieces too, so, you know. What can you do? All right, through there. Okay, so now we don't want to have to untie our bow and move things every time we open and close this card, right? So that's why I came up with the Velcro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this and advance it just a little bit. Okay. And get my seam where I want my seam to be. And I'm pulling this fairly firmly. I want it to not be too slack and sloppy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and peel off one side of my Velcro here. And I am going to place it on this side of the ribbon. So I'll align it like that. So I'm kind of putting my flat edges towards this way. Okay, and it shouldn't go through the ribbon and stick to the card. And then I peel off my second piece, line this up here. I'm pulling tension on it so it's nice and firm, and the ribbon does kind of stretch, so you want it to be nice and firm, and line it up and press it together. Okay, now we're going to put a bow on top of there, so it's okay if it has a little bit of sticky kind of coming through the ribbon on the top, and it really won't bother it on the bottom. But if you do have a little bit of adhesive sticking it down on the back, you can just put a little bit of baking soda on the back side of that, or if you have one of those embossing buddies, that will de-sticky it. See, because it's wanting to tack just a little bit to that, so not a big deal. But now that is going to give us a secret closure. Let's see if I can whip out a ribbon, or I mean a little bow out of the leftover. I have two pieces. Which one's longer? Okay, that one's the longer one. Okay, I make my bows. I'm not a bow expert at all. I actually don't really like making bows all that much. I'm not a bowie girl. But so I just make the rabbit ears, and then I push it through, and I drop that tail and I just let it kind of flip around. So it just is kind of doing its own thing. And then I pull that back down, make sure this tail is straight, and then I just work it. So I'm sure, I mean, there are a million bow makers out there, and, you know, bow this and bow that, and you feel free to bow away, get a fork, you know, do whatever you do to make your bow. This isn't my best work ever, but you know, high speed isn't gonna get me probably the best work here, but that's all right. Okay, so once I had my bow, I would come in and trim my tails, and then I am going to use some wet glue, like glossy accents, and I'm going to glue that bow on here, which it's kind of sticking for me there. What a cooperative little bow. And then I have just some foam tape. This came from the Dollar Tree, and it was on a roll, and it doesn't fit in my drawer, so I just took a Ziploc bag here that I have, and I just cut it into strips, and I store them flat. So these are just the little foamy tapes, and I like it because it's pre-sectioned and you don't really have to get your scissors all gooey unless you have to cut one. All right, so this is from the Coffee Ephemera pack, and I had it down here. All right, and then there is the recycle this card saying. I would go ahead and mount this with some paper layers to make it really pretty. I'd probably finalize it with like a white layer, and I would sign it on the back, and then I would put that in my card when I sent it so that they could pass it on. So yep, definitely want to put a little bit of baking soda or get your embossing buddy to get that broke free there. But I mean, quick and simple, that is a tag topper card using trifold shutter card layers and your A2 layers. All right, and let's jump into the half trifold shutter. I did fold everyone's bases. Now, assembling this again in the time frame is going to be a little bit difficult, so I'm not gonna really try to put all these pieces on here exactly how they go perfectly. This came pre-printed for you with a latte love, so this piece would go here, and it does have a 1/16 inch border. This is a hand cut piece, but I will be making dies for it. This piece would go here. This piece would go here. These are the tall, the trifold shutter card tall layers. This piece, I mean, this is kind of a puzzle, right, guys? You can completely do it. Make sure that you have your pieces. I cut them where the words actually bump together there. All right, and then this is kind of a puzzle. You want to figure out the pieces that go together so your newspaper connects and then the top of your cupcake connects. So we would go top here, top here, bottom, bottom. Now that's this particular kit. You can cut and put in whatever pieces that you want. This is has foam tape on the back of it, goes here. These are the 2 circle die layers that I cut with the 2 circle dies. I have foam tape only in the middle on the back of this because these 2 are going to pop backwards. Is that correct? Yes. Sometimes I worry. Okay, and so what you have to do is you actually have to fold this on here. Okay, and you have to fold it on here. Normally we wouldn't do that with the trifold. So you create that zigzag, right? And mine's not scored, and I'm already cutting myself short on time here. So go ahead and fold it like that, and then take your bone folder and get your creases. Okay, but this only has this in the middle because it is going to go on here, and we don't want foamy all over there. So you're going to place that here. Okay, and then to do your bow with this card, what I did was I put the ribbon around the card here, and you could also cut a piece of 5.5 inch cardboard or chipboard, something thick, okay, and wrap it around and then tie it in a knot. So a complete knot so it holds it, and then I just do the double rabbit ear bow like I just did on the other card, and it's all one piece, okay, and it all stays on there, and then you can slide it so that your ribbon bow is wherever you'd like it to be. And it's just, this has Velcro from display, but it's just slid on this side, and you could tack it down with just a little bit of adhesive from the back side if you wanted to. Okay, so this would then be the half trifold shutter card. with a latte love. Okay, and set that one aside. Our next one is going to be the center step. Okay, and it's really important when you cut the center step that you do remember that these layers are the same on the outside and the inside. They're the same die. Okay, the only difference is we need to orient our paper upside down in here versus right side up here. Again, this one's pre-stamped with the same stamp set. Coffee Sayings 1, it does have matching dies, and I've Been Missing You is out of that stamp set. There's a whole product listing if you look for OOAK Coffee Make and Take. Okay, so I did go ahead and pre-fold your card, but it is not scored. I didn't, burnished with the bone folder. So you're gonna want to do that yourself when you get it. Okay, so that it's a little bit flatter. I didn't want to send them flat and have you fold it wrong if it's your first time doing it. So, whoops. All right, so looking at these pieces, and I do have a kit that you can cut this out all at once, and I'll be doing a class on how you can do that. This is all printed just like this. So it's 2 different paper prints in my coffee stuff, but it's all laid out, and when you cut it all at once. And then this one is all the same piece of paper, and then you cut it out, and you can see that you're going to need to take your pieces and kind of match up where they go like a puzzle. Okay, super simple assembly. We're going to have the layer here, and I use layers number 1, so we have a 1/16 edge. If you use layers number 2, you'd have an 1/8 dark brown paper edge. So then this one's going to go here, this one's going to go here, and so on and so forth. These kits and cutting in this manner make it super duper simple to be able to assemble. So I would position those perfectly, use the brayer to brayer them down. Then I would flip it over, and this piece is going to go up here like so. Just kind of paying attention that it's like an exploded puzzle. So we want things to track with that brown layer in between. Okay, and this is really kind of helpful for when you use other papers, which I will be exploring in the classes. All right, my next sheet here has our ephemera. So then this piece is a little bit different. So there is a different set for the layers number 3, which goes on the inside. There are 2 layers. They come in the same package, and one is going to give you a 1/16 of an inch from the edge, and one is going to give you an 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So again, I would position all of these, get them all lined up, take my brayer them all down. Okay, and then this is the coffee ephemera. It's another piece out of the pack, and it has its dark brown shadow with it. And again, I've done the foam tape. Now I'm not sticking mine down because I don't have my layers exactly where I want them. And it's meant to sit kind of like that. So it does overlap on both sides. It exceeds the centerpiece. Okay. Now you could, if you wanted to, if you were using smaller layers, you could go ahead and emboss the entire center step card, just like I embossed the tag topper card. That will work. Absolutely no problem. All right. So that would be the center step. So we have the center step, the half tri-fold shutter, and then the tag topper card. And there are several different layouts for this card that we'll be exploring more in classes as well. So I will be doing Zoom classes. And if you would like to join me for Zoom classes, just follow my page on Facebook, and you will be able to know my schedule. You can join my email list at my website. So I want to say thank you for joining me. And I would like to offer 20% off any item not already on sale. Put that down in the screen where you can actually see it. And that expires August 31st at midnight. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This video will actually be on there, and all future videos that show assembly of cards and tips and tricks, etc. Okay, and here is the website where you can shop, and you can sign up for the newsletter at the bottom of the page, and follow me on Facebook for updates and calendars. Follow me on YouTube for great videos and tips. And I want to thank you so much. You guys have been phenomenal with kits and ordering, and I really appreciate your support, and I know all the other vendors do as well. And thank you so much to Brian and Carol. I know how much work putting on shows and events is, and it's such an amazing thing that they've been able to move this to a virtual format for us, and I know it will only get better. All right, that's my 20-minute timer to tell me to stop blabbing. So again, thank you all so very much for joining me. I hope everyone is healthy and happy, and continue crafting, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.